Hi all, a few people have asked me if I could do a tutorial on my swirly arm designs using my rake brush. This is my first tutorial and please excuse the sound quality. It is with my mobile phone. Right, so what I've done is I've loaded a flat brush with, this one's a tag yellow leaf. And what I do is I usually do three and I start with the dark colour at the top. You don't have to worry about the neatness because it is only a background, so it's good for beginners of one stroke. And while that's drying, and the glitter helps it too, I just give it a sprinkling of glitter. Now my rake brush is one that I made myself. Yeah, it's a bit choppy, but it works quite well for me. I absolutely love this brush. So I have a pot of very watery white. You don't want it too harsh. This one's tag white, DFX white, but I do use tag as well. So wipe off some excess. Then what I do on the back of my hand, I just test it out. Now that hasn't got enough, so I'm going to load some more. That's better. So I go over my design, each squirrel, and load a bit more. Sometimes I go on the outside as well. Just to give it a bit more whimsical feeling. And then I use my petal brush. This petal brush, I don't know where I got it from. It hasn't got a name on the handle, but I love the petals it gives me. So I'm going to load up my brush with the white. And then on a bit of towel, I usually just dab off the end before dipping it in my blue. It's quite a dark blue, this. And then on the back of my hand with my petals, I just do one petal to see what it looks like. I'm quite happy with that. So in between my squirrels, I do one flower. Quite quick. The white was starting to look a bit transparent, so I'm just loading up my brush again, dipping off the tip before I put it in my blue, and then trying it out on the back of my hand. Yeah, that's fine. And then what I do is I like to do a few petals each side of the green, just to keep it flowing. So you can still see the green through, you're not covering it up. And then what I do next, I use one of my favourite brushes that I do seem to cut my brushes, the ones I don't use, I cut them to something that I would use quite a lot. So I've hacked at this quite a bit, but I absolutely love it. I put some starbursts. Now there's no pattern to where I put them. It's usually just to make it look a bit more sparkly. So what I do is I don't um, I don't put two. It's usually three I put in a cluster. Four I think looks too crowded. I'm just going to water my white down a bit more. Four I think looks a bit crowded. Two looks a bit bare. And one just kind of looks a bit lonely. But what you're trying to create is an illusion that it's really sparkly. So I just put a few of these random places or anywhere that looks a bit bare. Starbursts are great for beginners as well. If you can master your starbursts, because it will hide any areas that you're not happy with. You just put a starburst over it. It just attracts the eye away from it. A few more. I'm going to put a few here, and I do like to put them at the top and the bottom. The only thing is with a thin brush is it doesn't hold a lot of paint, so you do have to keep dipping in. And then with my lower cornell, this is number 4. I'm finding this really nice at the moment for dots. So I load the tip. Not a dry consistency, but not really runny. And then I put some random dots around the starburst. Just a few, not too many. Depends how long your line is, really. Then what I usually do, I do like to follow my design up and at the bottom as well. And in the middle of the flowers, I like to put 5 dots of different sizes. 4 I think just looks a bit funny, and then I put a little dot at the beginning of each petal just to separate them. And then what you can do, if your line's busy, you know, that's absolutely fine. I think that looks quite decorative, but you can put some like white vines or you know, swirls. So what I do is find an area that's quite blank, very lightly. Sometimes I put a little swirl in it, a little twist, a little circle. Just gives it another dimension. And there you go. I hope that's helped everyone. Any questions, please let me know what you think about it and ask away. I was a beginner not so long ago and I still remember what it was like to not really know what double dipping or one stroke or different sorts of brushes. So I hope you all enjoy and happy painting. Bye.